Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marisa and today we're going to talk all about this beautiful white kitchen. Okay, before we dive in, you guys, I would love it if you would hit subscribe and be a part of this community. I post a new video every Thursday, and sometimes I actually post more than once a week. So hit the bell so you're notified every time there's a new video. And I would love to hear from you in the comments. If you have any feedback, ideas, questions, whatever it is, I would love to hear from you below. So this kitchen was fixed up and renovated approximately 13 years ago. And I'm not sure if you remember, but that's when the real height of dark cabinetry and stainless steel and brushed nickel, that whole vibe was really, really in style. So fast forward 13 years, this house is still impeccable. It's still in really great shape. The homeowners don't want to move, but they really wanted to lighten up the space, brighten it, and just make it a little bit more modern and also a little bit more casual. That darker wood can often have more of a formal feel depending on what it's paired with. And so these homeowners wanted to just kind of make it feel a little bit more casual and relaxed. So we looked at a handful of different options, but ultimately we decided to keep all of the original cupboards and to hire a company to spray them white. This was a really big process. So what they did was the company came and they took down all of the cupboard doors and they took those off site and sprayed them at their workshop. Then they came here and they plasticked, is that a word? They put plastic up everywhere and taped off every last little corner so that they could spray the boxes of the cupboards in place while they were still in the kitchen. Full disclosure, painting your kitchen cupboards is really an inconvenience, really invasive and intrusive into your home. However, in this case, it only took a handful of days until the cupboards were completely sprayed, the doors were brought back and put together. And really, in just a matter of days, a brand new kitchen is created simply by changing the color of the paint. When selecting the shade of white for this kitchen, there was something really specific we had to keep in mind. So like I said, this home was renovated 13 years ago. And when that was done, all of the trim and molding in the whole house was painted a really creamy shade. It's a Benjamin Moore paint called Feathered Down. And so it's really creamy. It's got a real creamy yellowy undertone. So we had looked at different options, like painting all of the trim or replacing all of the trim, but it was just so expensive. And because it was in really great shape, we decided we were gonna keep the trim throughout the whole house and find paint colors that would work. So in this house, actually, the majority of the painting that we did, we went with a lighter wall color than that Benjamin Moore Feather Down trim color. And it looks so beautiful. It's this soft kind of tone on tone, really inviting vibe that's been created by layering the paints like that. So we had to make sure that the white that we chose in this kitchen was gonna work really well with the kind of off-white creamy trim that's around the window and around around the doors, the windows, the trim, the molding everywhere in this kitchen. I have another video where I use different tiles and different paint chips and show you examples of how to select whites with the right undertone. If you go to one store and pick out your paint and go to another store and pick out your tile and another store and pick out your counter and you don't bring them all with you, you could end up picking out very different shades of white that really don't coordinate well together. So we wanted to make sure that the brighter whites that we were bringing into this space would still coordinate with something that has more of a yellow undertone, even though we wanted to stay away from yellow undertone altogether. For the paint on the cupboards, we decided to go with Oxford White from Benjamin Moore. Now, when you purchase in this particular case, the paint from the supplier who was going to do all of the kitchen cabinets, they mix their paint with a little bit of a lacquer, another product like that. So even though the paint swatch says Oxford White from Benjamin Moore, if you were to paint your walls the same color using just paint from a paint store and then paint your cupboards using this paint that's mixed with lacquer and other ingredients, it actually won't read the exact same same color. So when we looked at all of the options available to us from this company, we knew that they were going to be mixing some lacquer in. The paint swatches they gave us were their dried paint swatches of those Benjamin Moore colors. So we really felt confident moving forward in selecting a really bright white, even though the trim in the room had a yellow undertone, and it ended up looking so well. So we didn't do anything like change out the corner cupboards or anything like that. We kept this kitchen design exactly as it was. The cupboards that had glass continued to have glass. We kept all of that exactly the same. All we did was we swapped out the paint color and the door hardware. I want to tell you a little lesson that I learned doing this kitchen about door hardware. So we did this kind of whole project really in the height of COVID. And so getting to retailers and looking at items and holding things in our hands was really challenging. So we ended up ordering all of the drawer hardware and the cupboard doorknobs online. And in doing so, I learned that not all door hardware that's designed for kitchen cabinetry is the same depth. Some stick out a lot farther than others. And so even though we had looked at the measurements and we felt comfortable with the selection that we had made, by the time it came in, we had them in this house, they didn't work. They stuck out too far. This bank of cupboards here, if you pull out one drawer from this side, it would hit the knob of the cupboard on this side, and it just didn't work. So thankfully these homeowners were super gracious. So we went on to plan B, which was these beautiful sleek door handles. So just keep that in mind when you're ordering products online. Really double check those measurements, because there is not a standard depth for cupboard doorknobs and door handles. I had no clue. One of the features that we brought in during this kitchen renovation was a waterfall edge on this peninsula. You guys have seen before me talk about this whenever you can. It just, in so many cases, it really elevates the look of a kitchen. It finishes that edge off so lovely, and it's a beautiful feature to see when you walk into the kitchen. I highly recommend, when you can, to do a waterfall edge on your island or on your peninsula. Instead of going with a traditional subway tile, we decided to go with something that was a little bit more elongated and had a really soft ripple in it. This allows for the light to bounce off of the backsplash tile and really creates a beautiful sheen as the backdrop of this kitchen. We replaced the stainless steel sink with this beautiful granite composite sink. This sink is by Blanco, and it's this really beautiful, warm, grayish brown shade, and it works so well in this kitchen. It's just beautiful to look at. You guys know I love my black sink in my kitchen. It is my favorite thing that we put in that kitchen when we did the renovation 6 years ago. Love it. So I was really excited when these homeowners were willing to depart from the typical white sink or the stainless steel sink and embrace some of these rich warm tones. It just added such a really lovely effect to the kitchen. In this kitchen, we kept the original blue aqua kind of tealy green. It's a stunning shade. We kept the original paint color that was put here 13 years ago. They just freshened it up with a new coat of paint, and it is absolutely beautiful. Now, this kitchen overlooks a family room, and that family room has a lot of warm fabrics, a lot of beiges and creams. And so we wanted to make sure that we did something that helped tie in the bright, stark white of the kitchen with the more neutral beiges and creams that are over in the family room. One of the ways that we did that was with these beautiful custom curtains. We had these curtains made that are really warm shade. They're going to coordinate really well with the furniture that's in the family room, but also they have a little slub in them that's white, which pulls really well with the paint that's on the cupboards and the whole white vibe in the kitchen. And so those curtains kind of help bridge the gap between the white in the kitchen and the warm tones in the family room. We have them hung here in the kitchen. They are going to also be hung in the family room as well. And I think it's just going to be a perfect way to bring both of those two worlds together, since they are wide open in each other's view. So apart from the cupboards changing and the hardware changing, Another really big change that happened in this kitchen is the flooring. All throughout this home, we ripped up the dark hardwood floor that was put down 13 years ago, and we replaced it with this beautiful, wide, really light, warm wood hardwood floor. It is so spectacular. Just by ripping up that narrower dark hardwood, you know, the shiny, narrow dark hardwood, by replacing that with this matte, wide plank, really light wood, it just creates such a casual atmosphere in this home. And we wanted to make sure that we picked one that wasn't too rustic. We didn't want there to be too many knots and real rustic components to it, because a lot of the furniture in this home has a more of an elevated look to it. And it was really important that we kept the original furniture as much as possible, only swapped out the pieces that were necessary. And so in order to keep the original furniture and a lot of the original decor, we had to be really selective. And this hardwood floor is absolutely perfect for this type of transformation. It works with the elevated furniture while also creating a really casual vibe. I actually think it's like casual elegance. It's absolutely so striking. And it's not just here in this kitchen, it's also throughout the rest of the home. And if you want to see a full tour of this home, there's a video coming up next week where I'm going to show you the whole transformation that we did in this beautiful, beautiful home. So if you have a white kitchen and you want to make it a little bit warmer, there's a few things you could do that are super simple to help elevate the look of your kitchen and create some warmth as opposed to it feeling really stark and cold. The first thing is to get rid of any of the stainless steel or brushed steel hardware. The doorknobs and the door handles, they just add a little bit more cool vibe to the space, which can make it feel a little more industrial, but not like industrial as like the cool industrial like you're working in like a kitchen, you know, like a chef's kitchen kind of industrial. So if you want to switch out your cool hardware for warmer metals, that could be copper or brass or black, that will really make a big difference. Especially in a kitchen like this where all of the appliances are stainless steel, there's already plenty of that. So by bringing in a warmer metal, it really helps to create a more casual look. The other thing you could do is to make sure you bring in some greenery and also some wood. If you bring in more wood tones up at eye level, it's gonna kind of bring what's happening on the floor with the hardwood floors or even the wood kitchen table. It's gonna bring that up to eye level, and it's gonna deposit a little bit of warmth. So when your eye scans the kitchen, you take in some of these warmer elements that really takes away from the white kitchen feeling really cold and stark. I have a video, I'll link it below, all about is the white kitchen out, kind of what some of the trends are with kitchen design and what we're seeing that's becoming really popular with kitchens, and how does that impact with our favorite, you know, all white kitchen. I'll link that below if you're curious to see kind of the trends in white kitchen design. As you can see, updating the color of this kitchen has made such a difference. It truly is a casual, elegant space that is so welcoming and so beautiful. I love it, the homeowners love it. So leave a comment below and let me know what you think about this transformation. You guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you back here next time at I Am Loved.